Howdy! Welcome to Aspire Mountain Academy. I'm Professor Curtis, your instructor for this course in Introductory Statistics. In less than 10 minutes, this video provides practice in conducting one-way ANOVA hypothesis testing using an example involving arsenic and rice. Let's get started. So as I just mentioned, the example we're going to look at here in this mini lecture involves arsenic levels in rice. So we're basically analyzing the rice for the mass of the arsenic, which is measured in micrograms. And you can see the data there in the table on the right. We're looking at brown rice that comes from 3 different states: Texas, Arkansas, and California. And we're going to use a 5% significance level to test the claim that the 3 sample means are from populations with the same sample mean. Now notice here we're assuming that all the populations have the same variance. We can actually calculate a population variance based on the sample data that we get here and compare it, but this says we don't need to run the calculation. We'll just make the assumption that we have the same variance. Before we can use our methodology, we need to check to make sure our requirements are met. First, we need to check to make sure that we've got normally distributed data. So we make normal quantile plots for each of the samples that you see, and you can see those here on the screen. And there's nothing here that's abnormal about the normality. I just love making puns. Yeah, so everything here looks normal, so therefore we're going to assume that the data are approximately normally distributed. We were told in the problem statement to assume equal population variances, so check that one off the list. There's nothing in the design of the study that suggests that we don't have simple random samples, so check that one off. Our samples are independent of each other. I mean, it's not like, arsenic levels in one state are affecting the arsenic levels in another state. We don't have to worry about California because it's off there on the west coast, but there is a shared border there for a little bit between Arkansas and Texas. So, maybe if there's a rice paddy there, it's straddling the border, you might see something, but, chances are randomly selected samples of rice, you're not going to have that issue. So yeah, samples are going to be independent of each other. And all the samples are categorized according to a single factor, which is the state of origin. So it looks like we've got all of our requirements met. We can use our methodology. So to start off with, let's look at our hypotheses. And typically when we're forming the hypotheses, the first thing we do is think about the claim that's being made. The claim that's being made here is that everything's the same. This is typically the claim that you have when you're doing one-way ANOVA hypothesis testing. What then is our null hypothesis? Well, what do you think it should be? I hope you said it's going to be the same as the claim, everything is the same, because that's what the null hypothesis is. It is by definition a statement of equality, so everything's going to be the same. What does that then mean for our alternative hypothesis? What will the alternative hypothesis be? Well, you're going to have to take the complement of your claim, which is that at least one of those 3 sample means is going to be different than the rest. We don't know which one. We don't know if it's 1 or 2. We don't know. Actually, yeah, okay. I was just thinking, it's just kind of like 2 being different than the 1 is like 1 being different than the 2. Well, maybe, I don't know. But I guess all 3 could be different. Yeah, we don't know. So that's the way it is. And so our claim and our alternative hypothesis are not going to match up. And even though you don't see it, there's a one-tailed test on the right side of our distribution. So this is pretty standard fare for hypothesis testing with one-way ANOVA. So the null is going to be everything's the same. The alternative will be that at least one of them is different. Now we can calculate our test statistic, and this is a good place for you to pause the video, get into StatCrunch, and there should be a data file for this arsenic and rice problem there in our group. So go ahead, put that into StatCrunch, get your test statistic, then come back and we'll see how well you did. Okay, so you should have put the data there into StatCrunch. Go to Stat, ANOVA, one way, and then in the options window, select your columns there at the top. Make sure you select them all, and then go ahead and press compute. You don't need to worry about any of the other default options. They're fine the way they are. In your results window that comes out, it should look like this. Your test statistic is located in the ANOVA table, second to last number in that top row. The p-value located right next door to the test statistic. We can see it's practically 0. So these are the values you should have gotten out of StatCrunch. And if you didn't get that, go back and rework this, see if you can get that correctly. Now we've got what we need to resolve our test. Let's resolve the test. So what say you? Are we going to reject the null hypothesis or fail to reject the null hypothesis? Well, I hope you said that we're going to use the same criteria that we've always used, and that's going to end up with this critical region here. And so we've got the results from our test, the p-value being approximately 0. That's definitely going to fit inside that significance level area of 5%. So therefore we reject the null hypothesis. Alternatively, if we wanted to use the test statistic 22.9, that's going to be, look at your number line. Where's 22.9? Well, it's going to be way far off here on the right, definitely within inside that right tail of the distribution, and therefore you're inside the region of rejection, so you reject the null hypothesis. So which of these conclusionary statements are we going to select for this particular example? Go ahead and pause the video if you need to, make your selection, then come back and we'll see how well you did. So here we're going to select answer option C because it has the right combination of elements for our particular example. So look at where each of these elements come from. Rejecting the null hypothesis, therefore there is sufficient evidence. We have a one-tailed test, therefore we support the claim. And therefore the rest of the statement is just going to be a rehash of the claim itself. So, do the amounts of arsenic appear to be different in the different states? What say you? Go ahead, pause the video, come up with your answer, then come back and we'll see how well you did. Okay, let's check out our answer here. Do the amounts of arsenic appear to be different in the different states? Well, we rejected the null hypothesis. The null hypothesis says everything's the same. We rejected that, meaning it's false. So at least one of those is going to be different from the rest. So yeah, the amounts of arsenic do appear to have at least different for at least one of the states. So given that the amount of arsenic in the sample rice from Texas is the highest, can we conclude that rice from Texas poses the greatest health problem? What say you? Well, the knee-jerk reaction to this is going to be to say yes, but that's not going to be right because if we look back at our results here, okay, look at the mean values that we have here for the different samples. Sample from Texas is higher than the other two samples. That said, okay, the ANOVA test does not allow us to conclude any one population mean is higher than the other. It just says one of them's different, and it doesn't tell you which one. Okay, so no, we can't make the formal conclusion that rice from Texas is the highest. Okay, however, we can informally conclude that we probably should take a look at what's going on in Texas. How is it that we could determine which specific population mean is different? From the statistical evidence. We don't have statistical evidence that Texas has a problem. But is there a way to provide that statistical evidence? The answer is yes. We could do it with a multiple comparison test, like the Bonferroni test. And that's what we're going to get into in the next mini lecture. So that brings us to the end of this mini lecture. I hope you found it helpful. You can find more mini lectures for this and other courses at AspireMountainAcademy.com. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.